It feels so good to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Chris Black's NJPW Report. I am, of course, the natural Chris Black of the Saturday Night SlamCasters podcast, independent professional wrestler, and everybody's favorite narcissist. Folks, I had to take a brief 2-week hiatus, but I'm back to bring you some reviews of the best presentation of professional wrestling on the planet. And today, I'm here to talk about the Super J Cup that went down last Saturday on December 12th, 2020. Now, if you know anything about myself, or if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I absolutely love tournaments in professional wrestling. And the fact that this year's Super J Cup was a one-night event takes me back to the old days of the King of the Ring when that was a one-night tournament, back when it used to be good. And I admit, although I do like the multiple day tournaments such as the G1, the New Japan Cup, and even the Best of the Super Juniors, it's a nice switch to go back to the old style one-day tournaments, because back then, the winners really had to earn it because they had to wrestle a minimum of 3 matches in order to be crowned the victor. So this year's Super J Cup showcased 9 matches, all of which were very entertaining, and never once did I feel the need to fast forward, take a bathroom or popcorn break. Matter of fact, I wished I could rewind the live event during some of these matches. So without further ado, let's get into the first round matches, which all 4 of them were absolute fire. First up, we have Chris Bay defeating Clark Connors. And I honestly didn't expect Chris Bay to win, seeing as how he is with Impact. And, they wouldn't have the Lions Break Cup winner lose in the first round, would they? But that's exactly what happened. Chris Bay is one of Impact's fastest rising stars, and this gave him the opportunity to showcase his talents to a much larger audience. He also pulled double duty as he main evented Impact's Final Resolutions pay-per-view the same night against Impact champion Rich Swann. Although Connors was the home team talent, Chris Bay dominated most of the match, but Connors did give some impressive offense, like the pounce, which took Bay clean off his feet. We can clearly see that Connors' progression as a competitor during this match, as he is now clearly ready to graduate from young lion status. But tonight just wasn't his night, as Bay finished him off with the art of finesse in 9 minutes 36 seconds. Awesome match between these two. Up next, we had ACH defeating TJP. These two are very familiar with each other, which made for a very good matchup. And it's a damn shame that there was no crowd in attendance for this encounter. In the early stages of the match, we see TJP tying up ACH in numerous submission holds before ACH changed the dynamic and they began beating the holy hell out of each other. It becomes more of an even back and forth match, but in the end, ACH is the one who picks up the victory after a 450 splash in 9 minutes 52 seconds. Up next, we see Blake Christian defeating Ray Horace. I honestly didn't think I would enjoy this match as much as I did, but these two tore it up, and Blake even suffered a broken nose in which blood was leaking out like crazy, but he was still able to pull off the win. And yeah, they did the usual indie style spots, which really doesn't work without a crowd being present. However, once Blake was busted open, there was a sense of urgency, as now he had a distinct disadvantage and had become a wounded combatant. His blood was really pouring from his nose, and again, I really wish that a crowd was there to witness this. Blake finally was able to finish off Ray Horace in 12 minutes, but they really played it up whether or not Blake could continue, and the winner of the next match could potentially get a bye and advance straight to the finals. So in that match, we have El Phantasmo defeating Lio Rush. Folks, this match had great storytelling. Apparently El Phantasmo hasn't been in the ring since February, and they really played up how he probably had ring rust. And I say probably in quotations. Damn well this man did not have any ring rust. But his footing and timing during certain spots were deliberately off, and Lio Rush was much quicker than he was, kind of showing that it appears that El Phantasmo had a little bit of a disadvantage due to ring rust. But again, all storyline. El Phantasmo had to resort to using dirty tactics in order to pull out a tainted victory. Some of the highlights of this match: during the entrance of El Phantasmo, we get a muted due to copyright restrictions when they began playing his music, which apparently was some new entrance music. El Phantasmo played it up by mocking the viewers at home. I absolutely love this. I really love when heels get really into their character and it's just a straight up asshole to the fans. Lio Rush, being the one storyline wise had not had any ring rust, controlled the pace of this match, but both guys went all out during this encounter. And I can attest that after sharing a ring with Lio Rush on one occasion, this man is the real deal. He's one hell of an athlete, and he's one hell of a competitor. This was the best of all of the first round matches. The heel face dynamic was extremely clear and the storytelling was on point. Rush didn't just walk all over El Phantasmo either, as El Phantasmo was able to gain control of the match and utilize some heel tactics. In the end, El Phantasmo resorted to cheating by pushing Rush into the ref, delivering a low blow, rolling him up to steal the victory and advance to the semifinals in 15 minutes, 16 seconds. This match, again, if you haven't watched this tournament, go back and watch this match. I mean, watch all the tournament, but really pay attention to the storytelling during this match. Great job by these two. I'm hoping that we're going to see more of Lio Rush in New Japan. Up next, to kind of break the monotony of the tournament just a little bit, plus to give the guys a little bit of rest, we have our first tag match, which featured Team Filthy, Danny Limelight, and JR Kratos defeating Rocky Romero and Fred Rosser. Limelight and Kratos makes a very good team. Fred Rosser continues to be a good fit for New Japan, but he's unable to inflict much damage to the much larger Kratos. Danny Limelight and Rocky Romero continue their beef due to Limelight turning on Romero, which made for some fiery exchanges between these two. Kratos is an absolute beast and a very athletic big man. After a hard-fought battle, Romero and Rosser fell to Team Filthy in 12 minutes 49 seconds. Romero and Limelight is scheduled to have a one-on-one encounter this Friday on NJPW Strong. So as you can see, even a seemingly unimportant match on the card helped to advance some storylines. I absolutely love how New Japan doesn't waste any matches. Most matches, if not, I'm not going to say all of them, but most matches does have a little bit of storytelling where they're going to advance some storylines for a payoff down the road. Long-term booking, WWE need to get with the program. Alright, so now we get to the semifinals match, the first of which being ACH defeating Chris Bay. This was another hard-hitting junior heavyweight match that showcased a couple of guys who have bright futures ahead of them. Bay targeted the lower back of ACH, which took some damage during his first match. Chris Bay dominates most of the match before ACH caught him slipping and was able to mount a brief comeback. ACH was able to counter the art of finesse and hit the 450 splash for the win and moves on to the finals in 8 minutes 27 seconds. This match was surprisingly quick and mostly one-sided, but ACH still put Chris Bay over, making him look good in the process. I don't know what the details of his contract with Impact is. I really hope that he gets more work with New Japan, as I feel like, I don't want to say he has a better chance of being showcased, but what can I say? They've got a bigger platform. And in the second semifinal match, we have El Phantasmo defeating Blake Christian. This is another match with El Phantasmo that had some amazing storytelling. Once again, playing on the injury to Blake's nose, El Phantasmo exploited that injury every opportunity he got. Blake looked like he had been through hell and back before the match even started. His face was swollen and beginning to bruise. He had to wear one of those nose strips to, I assume help him breathe as normal as possible. But after a very difficult match, Blake finally fell to a super kick from El Phantasmo, who advanced to the finals in 7 minutes 24 seconds. Again, with the storytelling, of course he has to hit him in the face in order to win. Super kick, and he's done. It was a fairly quick match, but given the circumstances, very understanding. Plus, it's good to conserve energy for the finals, so I'm not surprised that these semifinal matches were quick. Didn't seem quick when you were watching them, but nonetheless, all of them were pretty much shorter than the first round matches. Speaking of the finals, before we get there, we have our second tag match of the evening. We have Bullet Club members Kenta and Hikuleo defeating Ren Narita and Kevin Knight. Who's Kevin Knight, may you ask? Well, originally Carl Fredericks was supposed to be in this match, but due to an injury, they substituted LA Dojo's newest young lion, Kevin Knight. Kenta walks out to the ring with a brand spanking new undamaged briefcase. And you know what? Are we ever going to see him actually cash in on Jon Moxley and finally relieve him of the US Championship? I think it's absolute bullshit that Jon Moxley has not defended that title in almost a year now. But getting a little off topic, Jon Moxley, show your ass up at Wrestle Kingdom so we can finally get a resolution of this. Getting back to the match, Hikuleo's chops are just devastating. He towers over all of his opponents. I believe he's the tallest member of Bullet Club. Ren Narita is fresh back from excursion, which unfortunately was cut short due to the pandemic, but he does have a very good showing attempting to go toe-to-toe with Kenta, which is no easy feat. Kevin Knight, man, this guy, he was handpicked by Shibata. He was extremely impressive, in my opinion, during this debut. This guy is going to be a star one day. I guarantee it. I was extremely impressed by his in-ring ability, even as a young lion with his restricted moveset. But, as always, young lions never win over main roster guys, so Kenta locks in the Boston Crab, and the new recruit has to tap out after 10 minutes and 2 seconds. Woo, Kenta beat the man with the lion's bread and butter, the Boston Crab. Now it is time for our main event. We have ACH taking on El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo wastes no time and attacks ACH 5 seconds into his intro while he was on the stage. He beat the holy hell out of that man, using the trophy, attacking his taped up back, all before the bell rang. So technically it was all legal. And just like against Blake, he exploited this back injury the entire match and used every dirty trick in the book to secure the victory. El Phantasmo was such a great heel, and his matches have stood out the most during this tournament due to the clear heel-face dynamic, which always makes for great storytelling. ACH sells the attack on his back, but refuses to stay down like a champ, getting only a flash of offense in here and there, but he's not a dead fish, and his strikes are extremely good. ACH was at the last Legacy show taking on one of the Urban Horseman brothers, Sean Priest, and I have to say his strikes are legit. El Phantasmo pays homage to ex-Bullet Club members utilizing the Styles Clash and the V-Trigger during the match. He tries to cheat ACH the same way he did Leo Rush, but it doesn't work. He tries the low blow and roll up, but only gets the 2 count. However, in the end, El Phantasmo takes out ACH with a super kick in the CR2, and we have our winner in 16 minutes 11 seconds. 2-time winner of the Super J Cup, El Phantasmo. During the trophy presentation, in a disgusting show of disrespect, he destroys the trophy just like he did last year and spits on the gold ceremonial jacket. He then takes the mic and challenges the winner of the Best of the Super Juniors tournament, Himuro Takahashi, to a match at Wrestle Kingdom. Man, this year's Wrestle Kingdom is looking to be a guaranteed can't miss show. I absolutely cannot wait until January 4th and 5th. Well, I think it's time to take it home and wrap this show up. If you've enjoyed my review, please show your appreciation by hitting the like button. And if you feel like I've earned it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well. Maybe I've even piqued your curiosity and you want to know what Chris Black and the rest of the Saturday Night Slamcasters are up to. There are links in the description that will take you to all of our social media pages, where to find the podcast, and even show you where you can get the Saturday Night Slamcasters YouTube channel. That's going to do it for today's show. I thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time. Come get slammed.